Huh. What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Erica from the Club. We don't usually do in the car videos anymore because the Wi-Fi is bananas. It's what I want to do. When you buy a car and it says as is, right? You buy a truck as is. You buy a house as is. That whatever's on the house, that's on you, baby. Whatever you pick up. And a lot of times, people hope that they'll come into somebody's life or they'll work at a job and it'll magically change them from the inside out. It'll change everything about them, and it won't be like that. But I want you to really take a step back and think on this. I was just listening to a preacher, and I know some of y'all ain't religious, but you ain't got to be if you watch this channel. It's up to you. Do what you do. And the guy was like, he goes through these marriage counselors, and he's always trying to tell people, you trying to marry her thinking she won't change, and you're marrying him hoping he will change. Both of y'all need to address each other as is. What you see is what you get. What you're getting right now is what you got, right? And he says people never want to hear him. And he's like, I pride myself in breaking folks up. He's like, I'm saving people, right? And so I was laughing at the sermon. I was listening to it. But that's the truth. I get on the phone calls where people are like, oh, I want to do this, this, this. And I'll say, well, why haven't you done it? Well, this. I want to be doing this over here. Okay, why aren't you doing it? Well, I'm waiting on the perfect knowledge, the perfect. No such thing as perfect timing. There's no such thing as a perfect day. The other day when I did the video on getting mortgage, there's still gonna be people in the comment section. Well, I don't know how to get a mortgage. I don't know how to buy a home. And we can literally tell them the same answer every single week, twice on Sunday, and that they don't know, or they didn't hear the question, they didn't hear the answer, they don't know where to find the information because that person isn't ready. Point blank period. That person is not ready. They're not willing to address internally why they're not ready for whatever reason it is. So they don't hear. It's like when you hear people talk about hey, I really want to do this thing or that thing, and yet they never seem to do it. They never seem to do it. It comes from a place of it feels good to say it, right? It feels good for them to be able to say something, even if they know they're not going to do it. It feels good. What we call lip service. Can everybody hear me in the chat? If you can hear me, drop a 1 in the comments. If you can hear me, let me know. Drop a 1 in the comments. I think he said Skynet's tripping already. Might be. Skynet tripping already. And so a lot of times people will sit here and tell you, hey, I want to do this, this, and this. And I go, hey, do these steps. They'll come back 90 days later. Hey, Erica, I didn't do anything you just said, but now I really want to do it. And so what you have to learn is that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. But until somebody shows you otherwise, as you see them, as they are showing you themselves, that is truly who they are. I've heard women say, oh, this guy does this, this, and that. And I go, did he tell you that? Did he tell you that? No, he didn't tell me that. Then it's not true. If you just assume it up here in your mouth, his own words out of his own mouth, that's not true. Right? I can literally go find 50 guys and say, hey, this guy said this. And they go, well, I don't know. You might want to go ask him. Right? Because they don't know what that man's saying unless you heard it straight from the horse's mouth. Right? Straight from the horse's mouth, as is. So when it comes to wanting to massively change your life, there's 3 things you have to really be doing. There's really 4, but there's 3 things. You got to identify with who you're trying to be. If you tell me, hey, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a high value man, I'm whatever it is you want to identify yourself as, you need to clearly define what that looks like. Is there an example of it? You can write it down so that you can clearly define what it looks like in 2 sentences. Who you want to be, what you want to be, how you want to dress, how you want to look, etc. Right? Okay, number 2 is your belief system. Is your belief system keeping you poor? 9 times out of 10, when I go listen to other people's channels, I go listen to some other people's conversations, because y'all here is people's belief systems. Well, you know, the man won't let you get ahead. The man's got his foot on my neck. I can't buy a house because of white supremacy. I can't do this because of white supremacy. But then when you ask them simple questions, have you been pre-approved? Nah. How you was gonna buy a house? Have you done this? Nah. Are you on LinkedIn? No. Okay, well, if you're not on LinkedIn, how was you gonna get the higher paying jobs? If you've never taken a course, a certification, or anything after high school, how are you just gonna magically fall into these jobs, right? And this higher set of living, right? Diamond Dave did a good show earlier. I think it is Laws of Game in his private Patreon channel, talking about grooming. We hear the word grooming, and of course we think, oh, sexual predators, grooming people. Every day you're grooming yourself, right? You get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you wash your body, you put clothes on, because you do what? You love yourself. Okay, you love yourself. I hope some of y'all, or you don't want people to tell you at work your breath stink. One of the two is happening. Okay, so you've groomed yourself. When I you know, the credit repair, the this, whatever, you're grooming yourself for lower expectation. Exactly, John. When people tell you they want to lose weight, listen, I literally took everything out of the refrigerator, got all the veggies in there, got the juicer put in the house. And you know what? I was like, damn, I still want some Chick-fil-A for lunch. You literally have to say, why are you grooming yourself for that? You got a refrigerator full of food. Go eat over there. It's little things like that that you are grooming yourself for. Again, goes back to 1 and 2. What do you identify as? Number 2, what is your belief system? Number 3, immersion. What is immersion? Sometimes people get on the internet and they go, Erica, there's just so many ideals. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, stop, take a minute. What is number 1? Number 1 is your identity. Who do you identify as? What do you want? If I ask you 2 years from now, what do you want your life to look like? Dream big. Nobody can stop you. Literally, prime example, I listened to Henry Washington. I think I was going to get him on the channel. I don't know when, but he does a great job. He's in Arkansas and he was 36 years old. He knew he wanted to get married, got married to old girl, and he looked up and he realized he couldn't buy a house with his name on it. They only wanted to give the loan to her with her name on it because his credit was bad and he spent a lot of money. And he literally woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning or at night, middle of the night, and had a panic attack because he realized, I can't give my wife the type of life she wants because my spending habits, my credit, and my income. And that day said, got on the internet, watched a few videos, and said, you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to become a real estate investor. He had the income issue, right? So he just told you he had those 2 problems. But within 2, he has 66 properties. Literally up here. It's up here, right? When you determine my wife and my daughter, here's a daughter, deserve this life that I know I can give them if I just apply myself, that's when a person changes. Until then, everything you hear somebody give you is lip service and as is. That whatever you got them as, wherever you found them, if you found them in the bar, they are drunk, that's what they're gonna be. Okay. If you found them in the nightclub, you know, wherever you found that person, that's who they are. That's what they're going to be. And for you to say, well, you know, maybe I can change this woman, you cannot change anybody. They have to come up to a point, not hopefully not an anxiety attacks like Mr. Henry had in the middle of the night, but literally lay in the bed and go, oh my God. In order to get this thing, you know, I see people's parents trying to educate their kids, trying to do stuff. As a parent, right? And I'm not a parent, but I make this very clear. Every person in my friend group, they dictate their life, whether they want to be honest or not, after how their mama and daddy act. And the standards their parents have. I've seen girls lose 50 pounds because their mom got cancer or their mom all of a sudden lost all this weight and now they're motivated to lose all this weight. I've seen that multiple times. right? But you have to first identify, how do you really see yourself? You know, something that I laugh about is these full-length mirrors, right? Target sells a bunch of these full-length mirrors, and you be like, man, people are narcissistic. No, no, no. You need a full-length mirror in your house so you don't lie to yourself. You need to look in that mirror and identify, is these clothes appropriate? Is how I'm dressing make sense for how I want people to talk to me? This is men or women, right? How am I carrying myself? Where do I eat? Where do I go? You know what I'm saying? 5 years old. She said, what's a good time to start teaching your children about investing? 5 years old. When I take my nephew to any restaurant, I give him money. He's 6 years old, and I say, how much did she say? How much did she say? Okay, how much did you give her? Okay, how much should you get back? You start there. I'll share on here on the community tab. PE Barnes, she wrote a book called Real Estate and Chill. She also wrote, she has another company called Little Owners, and she has like 12 books for children, right? Like 12 books for children, and like they talk about real estate. As soon as you have to make this so normal, it's like not even a question. My nephew, when he started his lawn care company, and he's knocking on doors, cutting lawns, he literally came to us and said, I need a business bank account. It wasn't a foreign word to him. It just wasn't a foreign word to him. It was something he knew. Okay, I need to do this. Boom, 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 boom. It's a regular conversation. And a lot of times the problem is a lot of y'all are trying to have, you want your kids to do this, right? You want your kids to do this whole, you ain't even did it. So you have to kind of chart the way for them to see it, right? So again, my nephews have always brought up, either they go to my sister's hair salon business, they've been in my coffee shop, or they've been in my other businesses, or they've been in our offices, or they've been in our other cousins' offices. Both my nephews, their grandparents own multiple tire shops in central North Carolina. So they've worked at their grandparents' businesses. So they know this isn't a foreign thing, but it doesn't have to be foreign to you. Even if you don't own a business, there's small things you can do and start showing family members and cousins consistency. Because if you can't identify, how do you want to be seen? Listen, if you ask somebody on this chat right now, what is your favorite type of car? In the chat right now, everybody, regardless of price, what is your favorite type of car? Put it in the chat. I'm gonna show you. You ask all these people, what's your favorite type of car? People gonna tell you what type of car they want. They've studied it. They've seen it. They know the price points. They know if they get a used one, how many years back they got to get the used car, and then they know if they fixed the leather seats, the this, the that. People know down to a T what their favorite car is. I can tell you right now, you already know what my favorite car is. I don't even have it. It's a Porsche Cayenne with peanut butter inside seats and a Tesla. Okay, a red Tesla with peanut butter seats, because you can modify the seats. Right? Everybody in here know what their favorite car is, without a doubt. You know why? Because you identified up here what your favorite car is, what you think you look best in, what you think works best on you, what you think. Oh, yeah, you know, I need a Lexus, because a Lexus, whatever the reason, right? Mazda C5X, that's a good car. I like that rental car when I ride in it. You've identified what's your favorite car. Range Rover, convertible, Benz. Look, don't put them in the chat. That's how, as clear as it came to you what type of car you love, that's how clear your identity needs to be. AM1, I'm gonna pick on him because he's inside the chat. He wants the G-Wagon. AM1 is a tall, he is the caricature of a photographer, a video guy. Tall, sleek, khaki coat, necklace on, what do you call that thing? Necktie, whatever you call that thing, scarf. If you were to say, hey, is that guy a photographer? Without him even holding the camera, but you know, he usually has a camera with him, you knew he's a photographer. His identity matches him, right? So you have to first know your identity. Who do you want to be, right? Sounds like when you're a little kid. What do you want to be when you grow up? But seriously, what do you want to be when you grow up? There are too many people that I'm running into that in 2 years, they've completely turned their life around 180 degrees. I've seen people lose 100 pounds in 6 months. I've seen people lose 100 pounds in 90 days. You're like, good gracious, what's going on? They identified what is a massive problem for them. Now, a lot of times in the chat, you guys will ask about imposter syndrome and all this other stuff. And a lot of times what that is self-sabotage. Don't know why you're doing it. I'm not a therapist. Go see one. Go talkspace.com. They got good prices. But a lot of y'all are doing things that are sabotaging the direction you tell others you want to go. Right? It just is what it is, right? Own or be owned. If you're not first, you're last. All those books Grant Cardone read. It starts with you. Right? When you go out every day, hey, I want to do this. Right? I'm totally not making fun of you because you're light skinned, but you look like a camera guy. You look like a California camera guy. And what happens is if you really start out with that piece of paper, and in 2 sentences, can you identify who you are? Listen, I am a YouTuber who is spending the past couple years exposing people to different types of investments via their phone so that I can live the life I want and others can live the life they so choose. So they're not doing jobs they don't desire to do anymore. So that they know there's other opportunities out here. That's it. YouTuber who manages assets. Done and done, right? I may not always be a YouTuber, quotation marks. Y'all know how we do the quotation marks. I may not always be a YouTuber, YouTubing, but I already did my part, right? I may not be on YouTube doing it. I may be on podcasts in the future doing it. I may be doing speeches on stages. But ultimately, the goal is identify who you are and what you do, right? It's very simple. I'm a super connector. I love connecting people so that we can solve a problem so we both get the solution we want, right? I love that. I love being like, hey, here, call my friend, and he can hook you up and do this. Love that. That's the best feeling on the phone. The other day when I was doing the live show, I said, hey, yeah, you can get my class or you can go on over to the Harmonies. I love that. Go hit them up. Why? Because I know my lane and I can identify with what I'm strong in and what my desire is for people. Right? Point blank period. What is my desire? I want people to be exposed. I don't want people to walk around on this internet looking silly, talking about they never knew that, the man holding them back. Nobody ever told them they mama and daddy. The saddest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I'm gonna say this and I mean this, is seeing 35 to 55-year-old people on the internet in the matrix talking about, well, they don't teach this at school. They need to teach this at school. Okay, they don't teach it at school. We've already identified they don't teach it at school, so why aren't you teaching yourself? You're on the computer complaining about what you could literally teach yourself. That's why I laugh about people talking about courses. You're selling courses? And I go, I've literally seen people take someone's tax preparation course, someone's tax lien course and get into the business. I've seen people take people's classes and literally turn their life around 180 degrees. So that's why I have such a bite back on that, because what that tells me is they have not identified yet where they want to be and the vehicle to help them get there. They truly believe the vehicle is free YouTube videos. If they just keep watching enough free YouTube videos, their life will change. I'm sorry, baby, that's not it. It's the free video plus action. It is the free video plus action, taking action in your everyday life, right? And for 90 days straight, you get up and you call on the phone 20, 30 people a day. By the end of that 90 days, you're going to get what you ultimately want. I posted a community page and y'all made fun of it, but there's a 60-something-year-old dude, 66-year-old dude in Georgetown, Texas, which I'm going almost that way right now. And he put up a billboard in Georgetown. He's looking for a 50 to 55-year-old woman for mutual kindness and friendliness, whatever, girlfriend, however you want to say it, right? And people were like, oh my God, that's crazy. That man's getting 40 calls a day. Now let's just break this down. He's 66 years old. Could he run around and get 40 women's numbers a day? That'd be a lot of work for a 60-something-year-old. But in doing this billboard, he's opened the abundance vortex. I know I'm not going to get woo-woo on y'all, but I got to. He's opened up the vortex, because now somebody's gonna be like, did you see that billboard, girl? Girl, let me call my mama and call my cousin and them and whatever older lady they know. So you don't know what door that'll open, all right? Next example, over at our office in Georgetown, we're off the highway. We put a banner out there that has a phone number, and one of it says Erica buys land. The other part says, our construction company, development company, whatever you want to call it. Information on it. Here's the phone number. That line, that phone, and we have it on phone.com. We have it like connected. Good gracious, we have over 400 calls on that thing, and we have to check it every 3 days. What happens is when you say, hey, I'm here to do this, people come to you. People gravitate towards you. But you have to be clear on what you're trying to provide. You have to be clear on how do you identify yourself, right? We can't be of two minds, right? We have that split energy, right? And I'll go there. You can't hate women and want women at the same time. That's split energy, baby. That don't make sense. You can't want a good man to talk bad about men all day. It is what it is. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. It is what it is, right? You can't be like, man, I wish my kid's father would be more active in his life, talking bad about the man all day, and then hoping he does something in reverse, 180-degree difference. That doesn't make sense. What you say, you're bringing towards you. What you say, you're bringing towards you. If you talk about weaves and big booty women all day, that's what you're bringing towards you. Weaves and bad Beckys, okay? If you're talking negative, you're bringing more negative to you. And I know y'all think that is making that up or that's some woo-woo stuff, but I promise you, the more y'all are doing that, the less you're getting where you need to be. The other day I told there's a young lady, she's not interning for me, she's kind of learning from me, but she is doing some favors for me here and there, and I pay her. I was like, if you can find me all the land, food trucks, and something else under 10K and good quality, find it for me, make a list. This girl's been working on this list for 2 weeks. She literally went out and found 200 pieces of land under 10K all around us that I would have never found, like being on Facebook, being on Craigslist, being all over the place. She's found it. She's found food trucks all over. She's found all kind of stuff. Why? Because I gave her a direct thing. This is what we're looking for. This is the parameters. That's all you need to look for. You don't need to look for something 20,000 because we ain't looking for something 20,000. We're looking for something 10,000. You don't need to be looking over in that county because we're not looking in that county. Right? So you have to get real clear on what it is you are looking for. Okay? 1, looking for, and 2, what do you identify as? What do you identify as? Okay? If I came out here let me like, now, Erica, I believe in anything, but I don't think you're going to run 26 miles next month. You know why? Because I ain't identifying as a marathoner, right? You have to really it has to match. You dig what I'm saying? You can immerse yourself in that culture, but at some point you're going to have to produce results, okay? And so I just want you to understand, like, you got to really kind of hone in. What do you identify as, and are you doing tasks every single day to get there? All right? Plain and simple. Somebody in the digital real estate course was like, hey, just go ahead and go blog. And they're like, whoa. Just blog? Just do it. I'm like, yeah, just do it. Just get up and do it. And what I realize is when you go to work and you go to a job and you go to 9 to 5, they tell you when to get up and do things. And so you're not used to just getting up and doing it. So I put together a little workbook for people to help them build up that muscle. But when you really get in the groove of things, you'll sit down and do 90 minutes of work, and it took care of 2 weeks from work. It's different in entrepreneurship. A lot of people, if you give them 5 hours to do something, they'll take 5 hours to do something. You give somebody an hour to do something, they'll do an hour, right? And so what I want people to understand, accomplish, right? If you say, hey, Erica, I'd love to have 52 blog posts in a year. Guess what? That's just 1 blog post a week. And if you're in my classes, you've seen us use conversion AI. You've seen us use it. You got tools at your disposal. Okay, well, he just had to do one every 3 months. All right, every 4 months, whatever. But it depends on, are you aiming for this target and are you working on it daily? Right? You ever give somebody a book and you go, how you like the book? Oh, I tried to start it, girl. That's why I use Audible. And they be like, well, that's not like reading. I'm like, yeah, but I'll listen to that book 3, 4, 5 times. I'll listen to it on the plane. I'll listen to it while I'm on the Stairmaster every day. I'll listen to it while I'm on the treadmill every day. By the time I done heard that, right? And a lot of times that's how repetitive some of y'all need to do this. Get creative with no bad credit, no money down, all this jumping through hoops kind of stuff. Whole city that do real estate. Now you can help them because you will need money. No matter what they tell you on the internet, you're going to need some money or you're going to need a lot of time where you blowing the phones up all day and night. It just is what it is, right? So I want you guys to kind of really, this is just a Monday mindset conversation. If they show you a pattern of behavior, believe it, right? Because here's what happens. When someone has a pattern of behavior, they're teaching you how to, in the background making noise. They're teaching you how they want you to react, right? So I have a couple friends. I have 2 friends, not that many, that just 2 that when I first started calling them, it take them like a day to call back. And I'd be like, what the heck? Or it take them 4 hours to text back. And I'd be like, that's some rude shit. And I used to get real mad. But then I realized when I talked to everybody that knew that person, that's how they did everybody. They don't like responding to text right away. They don't like turn around and call right back either. And I thought, well, how rude. But that's literally how they've trained everybody they know in their whole entire, even their daggone parents, how they are. And so when you start realizing that, oh, you can train people, right? Hey, you're not going to call me every day because I got things to do, right? You're not going to bug me every day. You're not going to text me all the time, right? Like people, you're literally training people how you want to be talked to and how you want to be received. Big thing for me is I'm not going to respond to your emails right away. If it is, it's Enrique. If it ain't Enrique, it might be me, depending on time of day. But at the end of the day, you have to train people that, hey, this is this is the pace of stuff. Well, when you are a person that's used to working from home, when you got to get them to the office, you're like, oh, you start going, okay, how can I get this efficient? How can I get there faster? How can I get to the office faster and get my work done and leave? Right? And the funny thing is, I go to the office kind of, but what ends up happening is I would come, and 2 of the girls in the office, they were like, "Oh, here you come at night," or she makes some comment about me coming at night because she's like, "I always know it's about time to go home because you come in," and I started laughing. I started laughing because this girl knows I came in so many times at 4 o'clock. This girl knows it's about time for her to go home. Because when it's 5 o'clock, them people pack it up. They go home, right? They don't put not near extra hour in if they ain't got to, which cracks me up, but I understand. It's a mindset, right? People only gonna work as much as they have to, right? So that's how routine I became, that the girl was able to know it was 4 o'clock just by seeing me walk in the door. She just knew. She told me it must be 4 o'clock. That's how routine it is. But that's how routine you need to be in your everyday habits and lifestyle. That it just becomes, oh, it's 4 o'clock. Okay, we got to be there, right? Because when I go home, I'm done. I literally write a list every day. Y'all think I'm joking? I go in my little journal and I have a top 10 list to knock out. If it ain't knocked out, I make an email to myself tomorrow or whatever. But 9 times out of 10, You just get it done. Just get it done. That's right. People mostly do what you let them get away with. That's right. And Joe Johnson, no, I'm in Texas. But that's my thing. I want y'all to understand. I really want y'all to understand that a lot of this stuff that you guys are encountering, you will continue to encounter. When you meet people and you say, why is this guy or girl acting like this? Take people at face value, as is. When you meet them, this guy one time said, well, sometimes American people fall down or people have incidents or something happen to people in their life. This is true. Stuff happens to people in their life. I'm not saying it doesn't, but what got them there? Their everyday habits got them where they are. This is something people don't want to talk about. Your kid didn't just wake up today and start choosing violence. This has been a slow walk process. Your house didn't just start looking the way it looks today. This has been a process. Your body, let's just go there. Your body didn't look like it looks like this today. It's been a process. Especially when you see some of these men with like 27 abs. That dude's been in the gym 4, 5, 6 years. Constant. Nonstop. Vigilant. Again, I remember telling somebody was like, oh, girls could do this, that. And I laughed because I said, if you actually go read Miss Olympian, a lot of these bodybuilders, you actually go ask several of these Instagram girls that you see out here with the shirts off, they spend 4 to 6 hours a day in the gym. Now, most people on this internet are gonna say, oh, you just gotta eat better. If you just eat a little bit better, if you just eat veggies, you just go vegan, you do all this stuff. Listen, go ask the people that you looking on the internet, looking at their bodies. 4 to 6 hours. Chris Hemsworth, the guy that plays Thor, 8 hours. They break it into segments, 2-hour segments for him to look like that. And they feed him a very strict diet. This is why Batista, what's the big guy that wrestles? He's in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's 53 years old. He's like, please, I can't want to do it no more. I'm tired. And everybody's mocking him, right? Everybody's mocking him because they're like, well, dude, you used to be a WWE wrestler. Why are you crying? He's 53 years old. And he's like, it takes 6 hours a day of working out for him to be in there with his shirt off to have abs. Because he's 52 and he's tired. He don't want to do it no more. He's like, can I please get a role where my shirt is on? And so when people sit here and try to tell you, well, you just work out every day for an hour and you eat less. Yo, that's not true. You'll have an average body doing that average shit. Like, I just want y'all to understand, like, I'm just putting it in terms that you can understand. The people that you see on TV that you think do A, B, and C, they are working out 4 to 6 hours a day. The dude who plays Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's like, I can't, man. I'm in my 50s. I'm old. I can't. He don't even want to do. He's like, it's just too much. He's like, the workouts, it's too much. So when you sit here and idolize people, you got to really understand they're putting in 4 hours a day to look like that. So when I sit here and talk to real estate people, when I go to real estate conferences and events, they literally, for at least a 1 to 2 year window, they'll be literally calling for hours every day. Every day, running around meeting all these people, going to lunch with all these people, doing all these events, so that they can get to a point where they have staff, and then they'll get to a point where people know them and bring them deals. That's how that works. See, nobody wants to talk about that part. People just say, well, I'm going to be a wholesaler. I'm going to make 10K every month. Well, baby, you're going to spend the first month on the phone all day and night. That part people don't want to talk about. That part people don't want to be real about. But that's what you're going to be doing. Okay? So, I mean, again, there's 280 people here. I'm hoping you like the content. I'm getting ready to go get a massage. Okay? I ain't playing with y'all. Okay? I done hurt my little leg on the Stairmaster today, and we're going to get it stretched out. Okay? But let me see what else y'all got here before I roll out. It's 290 people in here. Hit the like button. Been working on mindset hard this quarter. I have basically changed completely. Money hasn't changed yet. Okay, so again, we have to identify, where in this equation, what needs to change, what needs to be added, what needs to be subtracted. Right. So today, I think tomorrow it comes out, we release our soft reset planner, our business booklet, our Build a Business booklet. We have a couple things coming out. We'll do a video on it. But essentially, I don't want to hear people tell me, well, I'm doing this and this. I want you to write it down every day what you're doing. Because studies show when you handwrite something, you see the differences. You see the difference, you can track it. It is. WWE is tough on the body, but also now that he switched to being an actor, he wants different roles, but people want him to be, out here, doing that stuff. When I used to, my warm-ups were at least 45 minutes to an hour. It does. It takes time. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you as well. Eddie, they're not ready. They're not ready for the truth of it. Herbert Scott, even if they are doing all that, they are still working out 48 hours a day. There's a YouTuber I know, and I saw him in person, and I was like, oh, that's so amazing. He does those workouts. And one of my friends was like, he's on gear. I was like, shut up, be quiet. Don't ruin the dream for me. Even though I know, in order for him to do that many workouts at that long and that hard a capacity, there's some sauce. He's taking some kind of sauce, okay? Has to. Your body, again, when somebody's 22 to 25 telling me this stuff, I just laugh. I go, girl, bye. Come back when you have some kids, have some life, have some surgeries. Come back and talk to me then. When I see somebody 35 to 45, I first look at how long they work out, and then I look at some other stuff, and I go, oh, okay, I see what it is. You got some of that Sylvester Stallone on you, okay? You got some of that juice on you, okay? But there are some people that, just literally work out a long time. Yep, that too. And when you know the deal, like the truth of it is like you don't get there overnight, but there is some leap year moments where you just step out and it really just takes off. And I literally told this girl, find me all the land lots you can find in this area for this stuff. And she did. She could find them, right? And it was because that's all she did every day. So, I mean, again, it's repetitive, and it bores people sometimes, but that's what a lot of y'all need. Unfortunately, I've seen some that, what's funny is there's this one guy, and I'll just use him as an example. Max Tuning is super skinny. He's like the stereotypical skinny man that could, you've seen some people's dads that are bone skinny and can pick up all kind of stuff. You'd be like, how do you do that? That's his natural makeup. Like, this dude hasn't been able to put on more than 170 pounds in years. And people are like, how's he lifting all this big weight? And he's like, y'all, this is my natural body. You literally look at photos of his dad, his family, that's their natural body. They are naturally skinny. Just like there's one other guy I watch, and he's really buffed, and people at first were like, oh, he's on gear. Well, then they saw the dude's dad at 6 years old as a tank. The dude's whole family's a bunch of German tanks, right? So again, there's some people that be on it. Now, I don't want you to run through a wall now, but I want you to be accountable for sure. I really want you to really take a minute to be accountable. Joe, I will, I hear men say this all the time, but you give somebody a 26-year-old, with the body, hands down, you're going to pick that over to 40-something, so. You are, yeah, and that's what people don't want to really be honest, right? Again, I've seen people drop 100 pounds, and I remember talking to this girl, I'm like, what did you do? What did you do, girl? And she literally was an hour and 30 minutes on the Stairmaster at like the highest numbers, to the point where she got sick of that. And then she started doing the climbing thing. I forgot what it's called. And when she told me, I was like, oh my God, girl, you got to be, your body got to be on fire right now. But that's what people don't watch, right? Or if you really watch, there's some of these, what's his name? Obese to Obese, his YouTube channel. Go really research these people. They spend a solid 4 hours in their craft at night, right? For sure. So it is what it is. So, but that's just something I want y'all to point out. I just wanted to bring that up to y'all today because you really need to, in order to really change your life, you got to identify who you're trying to be, work on your belief system, and really get immersed in it. So that's what I have for y'all. I'm going to my massage. My legs are hurting. So I am out of here. You guys have a good day.